And the Bitcoin revolving door. Woo. What's going on over here today? What do we have?
What we got going on? Oh my God, are we getting interviewed? Oh my God.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I've been to Disney in Florida and LA.
Really? Okay,
Yes.
then you definitely need.
I need something for my kid and
Yeah,
me.
you need a bed. You definitely need some bed. Girl, here
Yes.
you go.
Yes.
You're so fun.
So what are y'all doing here at the conference? Tell me about it.
Talking about technology. It's a technology conference. So Disney and technology.
What kind of technology?
The direct line of contact.
What kind
Any
of
special area?
All of it.
Categories?
How about
So are you offering jobs today? What are you doing here?
We are not offering jobs, but we are making people aware of the jobs that we have available. We are asking you to submit your information to us so we can get to know you a little bit better, and letting you know about the website, our jobs.disney.com, so that you can see opportunities that are available to you and things that may be aligned in your wheelhouse. We really just want to meet everyone, see what types of expertise they have, but there's a lot of talent here, and we want to make sure we tap into all of that. So people who wouldn't normally consider a technology job at Disney come to understand how much of a technology company we truly are.
Is this your first time at this conference?
It is not. I was at the inaugural conference last year, which was hosted at Walt Disney World Resort. So that was my first time, and this year is even better than last year.
What do you enjoy most about this particular conference?
The clientele, the makeup. You know, in technology, you don't often see this many black people in the technology space on a day-to-day basis, and seeing all the talent, especially the younger kids that are coming out of college now, it's just a beautiful thing.
Awesome. And your name again was?
My name is Andre Cunningham.
And your name?
my name is Amy Vaughn.
Thank you.
You ready? So, you asked about tuition reimbursement. Tuition reimbursement is a thing. However, we also have what we call the Disney Aspire program, which pays 100% of your tuition up front.
Okay.
That's primarily for the hourly workers, and the salaried workers do.
My name is Khadija. I'm a recruiter with MailChimp and Intuit. I'm just going to point out a few things. One is to think about what's happening in 1957 in terms of labor, in terms of domestic labor. Who started to push back against these systems of domination? The free labor of women, the cheap labor of black domestic servants. And so these technologies become an answer to a problem, a social problem. The other thing to think about, and I'm sure you picked up on it, we'll all have personal slaves again. That one little word tells us who this technology is for. Certainly not the descendants of people who were enslaved the first time. So both in terms of the inputs, the desires, the needs that this technology is addressing, and the outputs, where it circulates, who it's for, that context is important to analyze and to critically assess what this technology is doing. You can't just focus on the tool. You have to look at the context, the social and historical milieu. And so in the same way that we do that for historical technologies, we need to do the same analysis, the same process of reading social reality with greater precision and accuracy. What are the underlying roots and values that we want to seed and grow? And again, easier done in hindsight when we look to the way that technology companies have perpetuated massive harms, as with IBM providing the tools to carry out genocide in the Nazi regime, the punch card technology to track populations as a precursor to genocide. We think about these harms and we associate them with big bad boogeymen, when what they really rely upon is what one author calls a bureaucracy of evil. People just doing their jobs, clocking in, clocking out, putting their head down, not asking any hard questions, just doing what they're told. So the question for us is, what are the bureaucracies of evil that we're being enrolled in today. We're being included in today. We have to take that same discernment that we can see the harm in hindsight and apply it to our current reality. It's not only easier in hindsight, but it's also difficult when it comes to things that are packaged as a social good. Not deadly data, but do-gooding data. When they tell us, oh, this is gonna help your community, as in the Community Innovation Project, St. Paul, Minnesota. So the school systems joined forces with the police department under the rubric of this project here. And they said, we're gonna create a data sharing platform that's gonna help us identify at-risk youth in the city. Now, when members of the community got wind of this, all their critical antennas started tingling. Now, what data are you talking about? Well, they found out it was like attendance records, suspension records, whether kids were involved with child protective services, whether their family members were in jail or prison, collecting all this data to create risk scores to predict who was going to be a future criminal. Of course, they didn't use that language, but that is essentially what they were doing so that they could help them early. We're trying to build our world, right? And so thinking bigger, what does that look like globally? This is not just happening or impacting the US, but our brothers and sisters in Brazil have been working on this front at PredaLab and other organizations, Bogueras Negras in India, the place where I was born, the Internet Freedom Foundation. In Palestine, we have Zamala, and I can go on and on and on. This is a global data justice movement. We're not just building our CDs. Moving on, thinking about science data piled to the sky that shows us, tells us over and over again, ad nausea, that there's anti-Black racism in our healthcare system, from medical students to attendees to residents. When it comes to pain, we know that our pain is underdiagnosed. Obvious, every day. So let's build some technology, more neutral, more objective. We know through some of the first audits of healthcare algorithms that Black patients, that they're pulled out of programs in which they could get more time with physicians, more attention, better treatment. And so we have to think about what are the proxies for race in this context. They're not keeping track of race explicitly, but they're using cost of care as a proxy for healthcare need. And so if our communities are already not getting the care that we need, our costs are not as high as our white counterparts, the algorithm is going to think that we don't need it, that we don't need as much care, and it's going to reproduce that problem and push us out of the needed services. Which is why I think about this historically. I think about my grandma going up to the front of the hospital and seeing a big whites only sign. The harm, exclusion is in her face. Now I can walk through the front door, but there may very well be a healthcare algorithm making decisions about my care, allocating resources that reproduces the same pattern of exclusion and harm, the new Jim Code. This combination of coded bias and imagined objectivity. Innovation that enables social containment. Innovation is not a straightforward good. It doesn't mean it can't be channeled and harnessed and coded differently, but the default settings of our technical systems right now are those that reproduce the status quo, the racist, sexist, classist status quo. Learning from the past, adapting to our current context, and also marrying these two traditions, being critical and creative in our approach. And so to learn more about this, I invite you to go to the Just Data Lab website, see some of the projects the students have been working on in collaboration with our community partners. I love and appreciate about what she and her colleagues are doing is they're thinking big, not just focus on, let me figure out how to make this tool a little less biased. Let me how to create this algorithm that's gonna help us. Thinking about the whole digital ecosystem and what has to transform, bringing it right here to Nashville. So to invoke her words into the space, we're not recipients of this new industry. HBCUs are the harbingers. We were here and we will always, and I hope it sort of touches you as well. So this is an example of a project called Brianna's Garden. It's an example of transforming transforming our pain into purpose. Those of you who know the tragedy of Breonna Taylor's murder will appreciate here this particular project that's a collaboration between some technologists and designers and her family, who had a big part to play in creating this app and virtual and augmented reality project. So I'm going to play a short video and then wrap up.
Started out as a need or a desire to want to provide a safe place for Janiyah Palmer, who's the younger sister of Breonna Taylor. I wanted a way for her to feel safe, you know, in a world where people were saying very disparaging things about her sister, someone who's a role model, a hero, right? And so in this garden setting, we provide the ability to silence a lot of the noise and focus on the clear signal of healing, of reconciliation, of honoring someone's life, honoring the connection. I'm Lady Phoenix. I'm an artist, I'm a curator, and I'm an art advisor. I wanted to engage Janiyah in a, kind of hands-off way. Just started following her on Instagram, wanting to understand her story, wanting to understand who Breonna really is and was to her and her family and her community. And in doing so, I was very touched by everything Janiyah was sharing. I phoned up my buddy Situ, who's a legendary AR/VR artist, and I said, hey, I have this idea. Are you interested? He said yes straight away. Loved the idea, and we began working. That was in the summer of 2020. When we initially approached Janiyah, at first she was like, this is cute, this is cool, thank you for doing this, I'm not interested. He was like, well, I get approached all the time. I mean, it actually never really is about Breonna, or they never follow through. I said, okay, no problem. And I kept working, and kept observing, and remained a part of her online community. And then I came back and I said, we have something for you to actually look at. It's not just like a deck. We have something for you to interact with. What do you think? And then she messaged me back and she was like, oh my God, I love it. I'm crying. I showed my mom, she's crying. This is beautiful. Yes. I think she's not seeing. I wanted to give Janiyah a choice, ultimately. Sure, the world is saying what they're saying about your sister. You know, your family knows, that's absolutely false. They didn't know her, right? They're simply trying to get a rise out of people and selling the hour. How about we come into a reality where who Breonna was to you, who she is to you, can be the core of why people gather. Love can be the focus. What's horrible and traumatic is known, but the unknown is the beauty, is the joy, is the wonder. And to be in a place that's not only held for that possibility to continue to flourish, but also the possibility of complete strangers coming into the garden, planting their own flowers through their own memory of their loved one. People who are drawn to this project are drawn because of the healing nature of the project. And because of the beauty nature of the project. It's actually quite beautiful to be held by butterflies and hummingbirds and all manner of life and colorful flowers and bees,
Objective information, okay? And the last two, what are some best practices for using ChatGPT in a professional context? And then finally, can you recommend resources? There's a couple of resources there, both from Deep Learning by Goodfellow and Big Bengio. And then obviously you can get out on GitHub and Reddit. People are talking about this stuff all day long. To build my daughter a budget because she is milking us all this money, staying with us. I'm like, didn't you just get a degree? Right?
To add the transferable skills to the skill section, right? So if you do have a skill section, if you are a little bit more technical, you probably have your languages and different things on there. You want to be able to add those transferable skills to that area as well.
Spirit, and I told you, so look, you did a class today, right, for DJing to debugging. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I'm a DJ, obviously, and I'm a software engineer. I started out DJing back in like 2007. I started engineering in 2020 professionally. But yeah, so I just told my story, but it intertwines together. So it was about how music influences my life.
in 2023, you are dealing with technology. You go to the grocery store, you're dealing with technology. You go to the doctor, you go to pick up a scooter that they have outside, you're dealing with technology. And we know as DJs, man, the technology is always changing. Always changing. So it's so great that you were here to talk about DJing to debugging.
And I got to DJ. And I got to talk about it. I got to collaborate both of them. And then I really wanted people to get out of it was the challenges I faced, being laid off and not being able to code full time, but then realizing you still have those skills. And I'm still an engineer with or without a job, but I have one now. And not even having one now, but I'm making my own apps. I done made 12 apps.
12 apps.
But
Wait
ain't
a minute.
nobody see them.
Her story.
That's what we talked about.
Her story. You know, we talk about his story, her story. Tatiana, DJ, Tot in the house. I love it. I love it. Such an inspiration. And that's what it's all about. Unity in the black community. People they say, Key, why are you interviewing another female DJ? That's what it's all about. We show love to one another. I was so excited. Remember, we were talking about equipment last night, and we're actually using the same controller.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Exactly what you said. It's a lot of different avenues that you can tap into. There's AML, which is either logistics. There's AMXL, which is like the larger bulk packages. Then there's GTS, global transportation. So many revenues. We even coming out with our own pharmacy.
Amazon is just taking over. It is an Amazon.
It's a metaverse.
It's a metaverse.
I know it's not metaverse,
I know, but
it is
it's the metaverse, and it makes things so much easier. People used to tease me before COVID because I would go order my toilet paper from Amazon and too much soap. But guess what? When COVID hit, I had toilet paper. I didn't have to fight nobody.
I had a package every day. They were the only people delivering. They were the only people delivering on time. So a little bit about what I do. I'm for the New York City region, and I am the person that makes sure that you get your toilet paper on time.
Oh, so you are responsible for the timeliness.
Yes.
And tell us how that ties into data analytics.
I study the volume and the metrics of zip codes. If there's some type of coding or construction going on, I break down the path to make sure that our drivers get to where they need to go.
Wow, and I think I'm pretty intelligent, right? But I got a little lost there, TK, but I love what you're doing. I want you to give words of encouragement for someone who is scared to make that change into IT.
So, I have no background in tech.
Okay.
I got an MBA in strategic planning and management. I started in logistics and sales. I tell people all the time, someone's going to train you. Do not be scared. First step is ownership. What is it that you want to do? Once you find out what you want to do and you own that, then you study it, right? Like they say, hone your craft. Same with DJing.
Correct.
Same with DJing, any other field that you can get into. You hone your craft. Free courses on Coursera, YouTube, honey. I taught myself a lot of things.
YouTube University.
The sources are there. Find what you want to do. Find your sources. Find your tribe. It's nothing like support. I saw you speak on sisterhood earlier.
Oh,
it's
love
nothing
it.
like support. Network increases your net worth.
Oh,
Step into it.
she is dropping gems. TK, here we keep touching, dropping gems. It's all about unity. Unity within the black community. Because if we don't have unity amongst each other, how can we have unity with anyone else?
Exactly.
So I love this. I love what you're doing, and thank you so much. Tell them how to follow you.
Follow me at TKLXOXO on Instagram. I'm also on LinkedIn, TK Bang MBA. And if you're in the Nashville or local area, hit me up.
And I just have to say for the record, I'm from Texas originally, I'm out of DC. And we
remember originally.
got you, but we got the best barbecue. Definitely the best brisket.
We're not even going there.
We're not gonna, TK, we were doing good. We were doing good.
We had a great interview until you
Great?
started.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. Hey, but you know what Orange Mound is? Shout out to A-Ball and MJG. Look, I got in so much trouble listening to all that profanity. But look, Orange Mound, Tennessee, you're right by it, right? Right by it. All right, keep touch, TK. BitCon 2023, Nashville, Tennessee. It is going down, man. Yeah.
My name's Katie Wright, and I'm a corporate recruiter for a young brand. This is the parent company for KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell.
Yes, I love it. Thank you.
The Blacks in Technology hired me to be an engager, and I have to engage everybody. And if I don't
Tell me who you are and what you do.
If I don't get enough engagement, I'm Kelvin Hill. I play games based out of Chicago, and we're one of the largest black-owned esports companies in America.
2K?
No.
Well, comment?
No, you fine.
But I also need you to play in this 2K tournament, and that's important.
I don't know how to do this. I know how to fight, but no, not on this game.
I mean,
what is this?
A phone stand.
Oh, like one for me and my daughter.
Yeah, take a bag.
No bag.
Look at she's like,
I'm not the bag lady. Look, I'm already the bag lady enough. But it's my company. I like your shirt. Y'all got some of those shirts? That's cute. So what do y'all do with CSG? I saw it on the picture. Tell me what it. Let me video.
Oh boy. Oh, we are a B2B technology solutions company. So we build software and applications for our clients.
Love it. So what kind of clients we have?
So we do, we have a payment systems team called CSG Forte, so they'll process automatic payments, and one of our clients is like Geico. We do automatic text messaging services for Walgreens and CVS.
Oh, so that's y'all. Okay.
Yeah, that's us.
I love it.
We've had other things going on too. We do back-end streaming, right?
Yeah, back-end streaming services.
Are you hiring? Where can people find you?
Right here.
Right here.
All you gotta do is QR code.
Okay. Y'all scan that barcode. Get a job.
So, hi everyone, my name is Alicia Brown. I own a cybersecurity company called TMG Consulting. It's based in the DMV area. I got into tech a long time ago. I thought I wanted to be the next Condoleezza Rice. And so pursuing my law degree, I was actually working for Mayor Martin O'Malley, and there I started learning about different technologies, the satellites that was around different states, and really being able to combine technology with policy. Working for companies like Oracle, National Institute of Standards and Technology, I was really loving that I was able
The guys do this too? Okay. The 6 feet and uppers? 6 foot and uppers? Yes, okay. Tall girls matter. Okay, are you ready on the end? Look at my camera. Look at me. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Everywhere. Okay. I'ma make it money, once you do it with no hands. Girls, I'm just to the, I love the way you, hey, let's go. Say, put my hands together. I know myself, I love myself, I think I deserve my chance. Go and see butter. When you look at, I wish my job, you know, what's your name, but who are you?